My Atlanta Falcons are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 1 of the 2025 NFL season. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to break down the game here in a second. But before we get into it, be sure to leave a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win this game and why. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and welcome to the Tracy Take. Ryan, my Atlanta Falcons, it feels like this is the year. It feels like we've been saying that now the past 3 or 4 years. So we'll have to wait and see. And we're going up against the division champs who Tampa Bay, they've won now 5 divisions in a row. I guess going back to
2020.
when the Bucks won the Super Bowl, because the Saints won it that year and they've won it the Bucks have won the division every single
Yeah,
year
so
since
4
then.
straight.
So yeah, and so we beat the Bucks twice last year. Admittedly, super lucky in both those games. And so Kirk Cousins, 500-yard passing game in the first one, which was wild. And then we played y'all the game after both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin got hurt. So you guys only had tight ends to throw to, and we let you throw to the tight ends. So you guys should have beaten us in that game also too. So this one's going to be really interesting. Week 1, you never know. But for the Falcons as well, like we have good talent though, but it's just do we have the supporting cast? Caleb McGarry, our right tackle, is done for the season. That means our blind side for Michael Penix Jr., who's a lefty. That's going to be very interesting. How is this offensive line going to hold up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have a really good front seven? I think it's going to be very interesting overall. Curious to see how healthy they're going to be. I saw Chris Godwin is not going to be able to play until probably about a month into the season. And then is Tristan Wirfs, is he going to be good to go as well? I'm sure he will be, but I hope he's not. So Ryan, I want to throw it over to you here. You know, as since I'm the Falcons fan, I might be talking a little bit more. But what are your overall thoughts on this game, and what does each team need to do to come out victorious?
Yeah, I mean, I think this game, not to be like corny, but this game is going to be won in the trenches. I think you look, both teams are a little bit banged up on the offensive line. Both defensive lines of Falcons spent a lot of money, or a lot of draft capital, excuse me, on that defensive line this offseason in Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. Can those guys come in and make an impact? Can some of the draft picks that they spent on it in 2024 come in and make an impact there? So I think that's really kind of what this game is going to come down to. But then I think you look at the skill position players. I think Mike Evans is probably the best receiver on the field. Drake London is not far behind there for the Falcons, though. And then Darnell Mooney is questionable with a shoulder injury. Can Emeka Egbuka step up? Not Trey Palmer. They do have Trey Palmer, but who was the sophomore from Washington? Jalen McMillan. For Tampa Bay, he had a really good season last year. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, to kind of watch how these teams approach this game with some of the injuries that they're having. But yeah, I think ultimately it's going to come down to who can get more pressure on the quarterback. Can one of the teams establish a run game with either Bucky Irving or Bijan Robinson, and yeah, kind of go from there. I think this is going to be a really close matchup. I think these teams are very well matched for each other.
Yeah, it does seem like that like we're able to kind of match up decently well against them. Now, this was when our offensive line was a little bit healthier last year, and like so we were kind of able to contain that front seven of theirs and still be able to get some run on them, while at the same time too able to capitalize on just some of the weaknesses in their secondary as a whole. It does seem that their Falcons might be once again lucking out a little bit when going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Jalen McMillan is on IR and he's unsure when he's going to be back to start the season as well. So it's really going to be Mike Evans. Emeka Egbuka is going to be his first game as well. So that gives us a little bit of hope, as an AJ Terrell, Mike Evans matchup is always extremely fun. Jesse Bates back there in the backfield as well too. It's going to be interesting on how we handle just the second cornerback spot going up against Emeka Egbuka, but hopefully, though, I mean, it might be Mike Evans and then 2 rookie receivers are going to be the 2 guys to 2 other guys to help out the team. So, but
actually, sorry, let me interrupt there. I misread this. Jalen McMillan is on IR with designation to return. Chris Godwin was actually activated off the PUP list on Tuesday, so he should be active
well,
in week 1.
Well, no, so they're saying that he's still probably going to miss a month. It looks like from the reporting that I've been seeing as well too. Yeah, so well, the way to see, I from what I'm seeing as of right now, it's looking like he might not. That neither one of them's going to be able to play, especially too with McMillan still being on IR. But so that all being said, though, too, it's still I think it's just going to come down to the consistency for both of these teams. And so how are both teams going to come out on week one? We like on paper we have some star-studded guys, but we also took a big hit on our defensive line. Really going to be relying on some of the younger guys as well that we've drafted to finally step up. Almost kind of ripping the Band-Aid off and be like, you guys need to perform. And
Yeah.
is that going to match up well against this Tampa Bay offensive line that has improved tremendously over the past couple of years and have been one of the better ones. So I really admire Baker Mayfield, especially with everything he's been through. I really don't like watching him play 2 times a year, and that's whenever he goes up against the Falcons. But I think that's going to be the big X factor is the quarterback play. The Baker Mayfield, I think, is going to be he's going to bring a bunch of grit. You know what he's going to bring. What's Michael Penix going to bring? It's only going to be his 4th ever game starting in the NFL, first game with an off season, and I don't think he played a lick in preseason. Which is something that they've done the past couple of years. So. For me, looking at this game, probably a smart man would probably be looking this like take the Buccaneers if you're looking at the roster or whatnot. Fortunately enough for me, I'm not that smart. I got to go with my birds here. So I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. You never know. It's week 1. Love for us to put up a consistent performance here, but we might luck out just because of some of the injuries that are going up against some of the star players for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially too if Tristan Wirfs doesn't play. That's going to be a big help, especially as we have younger, faster edge rushers in theory. So can we provide some more pressure? Can we disrupt this passing game? I think a big thing I'm going to be very curious about also too is this Tampa Bay Buccaneers running game against our defense. As we said, we lost a decent bit of guys on the defensive line, so we're going to be trying to switch things up a little bit. How's our run defense going to do against Bucky Irving and Rashad White? Because they were on fire last year, and especially and Bucky Irving can catch out of the backfield too. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, I am going to go with the Buccaneers. I really like this offense. Even if Chris Godwin and Jalen McMillan don't play, I still like Bucky Irving, Rashad White. I think this offensive interior is really solid, and so I think they'll be able to run the ball pretty well. This Falcons team was more aggressive in the second half of last year, and that led to more sacks and more pressures on the quarterback. But I will say they never really figured out how to consistently stop the run from what I can remember. And so I am really curious there. And I think Tampa Bay will kind of be able to control the trenches on both sides of the ball, especially when looking at the Falcons lost Drew Dahlman. And then now you look at Caleb McGarry, that offensive line is going to be pretty banged up as well. So I think Tampa Bay is going to win in the trenches. And I think ultimately that will correlate to them winning the game.
Yeah. No, it's Falcons are probably underdogs. I think more people are going to pick the Bucs than the Falcons here. So, but I can't do that.
Well, I guess the odds changed, but I was looking at ESPN, and ESPN actually had the Falcons winning in terms of the matchup predictor, but then the Bucs were favored by 2.5 points. But now I see the Bucs are favored now, so I don't know if it was just like a glitch or something updated. So I don't know. It's going to be a good matchup. This is always a classic when these two teams go up against each other. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Buccaneers? Will it be the Falcons? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.